This motherfucker hard, KJ.
What's up, sis? What's up, sis? Welcome to our fourth connection. You already know who it is. It's your girl, Chardonnay.
Not Chardonnay. Don't be Chardonnay today, girl. Just give me Chardonnay. Give me Chardonnay.
It's your girl, Bia Thrones. You see my shirt today. Stop playing with me like I'm regular.
Right. Right. And it's your OG big sis,
Big
divine
sis.
daughter,
Yes.
Letitia.
Yes.
And guess what?
What
Sis
you got?
is minding her business. So guess what, sis? Drink your water.
Drink
and
it.
mind your business.
Mind it, sis.
It's your sis babe, your country babe.
Yes.
What I have on today, selfish with my time and my energy.
Ooh,
yes.
I'm putting people on D&D today, y'all.
Yes. It's giving boundaries.
It's giving boundaries. Set up, let's sit back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you already know we talking about red flags today.
Flag on the flag.
Hold on. Speaking of flags, y'all, I bought something. Okay, I feel like Oprah. Okay, hold on.
Oprah, what you bring?
Girl, I got flags.
Yes, girl. Okay.
So I got the red flag.
Okay.
Red flag on the plate. Throw it on the plate. If it's a red flag,
Okay.
wave your flag. And then I have the white flag. It might not be a red flag for you.
Okay.
What may be a red flag for me might not be a red flag for you. So it's your white flag. Okay. So
Okay.
let's get into these flags.
My flag.
Get your flag. Get your flag and get your white flags, y'all.
I'm on the flag.
Get your white flag on the plate. And these
Yes.
are not red roses. This is a red flag.
Indeed. Beware of them.
Beware.
All right.
Beware.
Let's get into it.
Where we at?
Who going?
I
How y'all wanna go about it?
We can go about it. I don't mind.
Let's talk about it, boo.
Let's talk about the red flags.
Okay.
Normally I have my phone on me and I don't have my phone right now. But I want to identify certain red flags for myself.
Okay.
All right.
In relationships and friendships, you can have red flags.
Absolutely, sis.
I think a relationship red flag is where you lose yourself.
Yeah.
So that's a flag on the plate for me.
Hold on, let me throw that up. I'm
Flag. Where you
Yeah.
feel like you're only doing something for that person only and not for yourself. You're not fulfilling your dreams. You're not fulfilling who you are as a person. That's a flag on the plate for me.
Yes.
It's a flag for y'all.
It's definitely giving
It's
red
giving red
flag.
flag.
for me.
It's definitely giving
What
red
y'all
flag.
got? What y'all got?
So, sis, I just want to get into what I think a red flag is. First of all, it's a sign of danger, warning, proceed with caution. That's what
Yes.
red flags give for me. And it gives move forward at your own risk. What you
Yeah.
got, bitch?
But you know what? Okay, so what I think red flag, when I think of a red flag, I think of any level of toxic.
Come on. Yes.
Can you break down what toxic is?
Okay,
Toxic people
so-
know what toxic
All right,
is.
so what I think toxic is when a person cannot let you go, but that person cannot treat you better either.
Oh, hold on.
It's a flag on the plate.
Red flag.
That's a red
Give me
flag.
red
Yeah,
flags.
so it's toxic to me. It's just anything where the two people just cannot coincide in a healthy manner.
That's
That
good.
makes sense.
It's a red flag.
It's a red flag for me.
There's also toxic toxicity. I hope I said that word right. Even in a workplace, it's red flags in a workplace.
Girl, I throw this flag at this camera right now. I can't stand them cold. Oh, I'm glad I ain't got y'all. I'm sorry.
No. Sometimes you have to break up with with your coworker.
You gotta
Because
break
they
up
have
with
too many red
That's
flags.
a red flag.
But I know for me, like, in my experience where I've seen red flags, I ignored them.
I did too.
I ignored the red flag because I was more so projecting what it was that I wanted
Yeah.
versus what it was that I needed.
Right.
So I was in this space like, okay, I want this right now. I want it right now. But it wasn't good for my soul or for my spirit.
Right.
And so, when I accepted the red flag, at the moment, I didn't know it was going to come to an end because I felt like it had potential.
Right.
But what I learned in that experience, you cannot date potential. You
No.
cannot have a future with potential.
Yes.
You cannot marry potential. You just cannot You can't.
Because I feel like if you have any expectations on people, you really hurting yourself. The only expectations you need to have is on yourself only.
I believe that.
Because when you start having expectations on other people, that's when you're gonna lose a lot. You're gonna upset yourself. They're gonna prove you wrong. They're not gonna change for you like that.
Right, because you gotta be whole.
Yeah.
And I think one red flag that we try to ignore is behavior.
Yeah.
Oh, sis, he don't really lie that much.
Yeah, but he be lying.
Sis, he only hit me one time.
What?
Hold up. Oh, that flag.
Run!
Get
out of there, sis!
We really don't have a temper or whatever that unhealthy thing is. And if you find yourself trying to explain or excuse that behavior, baby, it's giving
It's red flag.
It's giving red flag.
Red
Yes.
flag.
And I like what you said about that because there are, there are a lot of women that are in relationships that have red flags. Like for me, if this is just my red flag. It might not be your red flag.
It might be a white flag for you.
It might be, but it's giving red for me. If
speak about it, sis.
if he is driving you to work in your vehicle and not going to work.
Oh, he dropping
you off.
And he ain't going to
he
work.
going home to do nothing,
Girl, let me
sis.
throw this flag. It's a red flag.
You gotta get up out of there, man, because two people in a relationship or whatever the case may be, you have to be able to grow together.
Yeah.
And that's that potential. Now, there's one thing to date someone or be involved with someone who isn't working. As long as that person has the potential to be, I don't even want to use the word potential. As long as that person has the drive and the ambition to want more and for themselves, then I say stick with it. It's giving white flag.
That's definitely
giving white flag.
Because you said one word, drive.
Yes, you gotta have drive.
And driving means driving is an action word.
Yeah.
So if he's not showing action, it's a red flag. But if he
It's a
is
red
showing
flag.
action and he really is trying, it's a white flag. You stay with that man and you stick it out.
Yeah,
Very good.
I believe in that too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get into something, and I know we talking about red flags, but one of my personal red flags for me that I've done to myself, y'all, is I've talked myself out of stuff because of fear.
Girl.
That's a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Like I have, first of all, and I'm not saying this out of cockiness, but I'm dope, and I have a lot of things to bring to the table.
Yeah,
But
you on the table.
one thing that I do out of fear is I just kind of talk myself out of something, or I don't go for something, and I'm getting out of that. So let's be clear, but that's just kind of something on a personal level that I would say is a red flag that I have for me. So
That's a red flag. That's a red flag too.
That's
When
a
you
red
stunt your
flag.
growth from fear, that's a red flag.
Yeah, fear will definitely do it because I believe even in starting this podcast,
It's a fear.
It's very fearful. Just right before this connection, faced a little bit of self adversities, and I feel like if I would have been like, no, I can't do it today, then how would we be able to convey this message?
right.
And with that, I believe that sometimes insecurities can lead to
Come
that.
on, sis.
Yeah.
Come on.
So sometimes for me, I feel like with insecurities with people, sometimes they'll have you just accepting anything.
Whatever.
Yes.
Because you're not in a place of value within yourself.
Right.
So you're going to accept anything that comes with someone else. And you have to get to a space where you actually know who you are as a person, even if that means sitting alone sometimes. Even if that means, you gotta being alone don't feel good.
It don't
feel
hard.
good.
But that's what being alone sometimes is.
It's a white flag and it's necessary.
And I operate in necessity.
Yeah. You do what's necessary.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I say something
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
red
yeah,
flags
yeah,
too?
yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
when you ignore red flags, sometimes we ignore our red flags because we like that person. We kind of like look over certain
Instead of
things
trusting your intuition.
instead of trusting that instinct and saying, you know what, he is wrong. I don't need to be in this situation,
Absolutely.
or that friendship isn't for me. And then you be trying to fix it, and it
Right.
never gets fixed because it's not for you.
And I think too, and I want to talk about a red flag. If you and that person just don't share the same values,
Qualities.
mindset,
Yeah.
drive. Hold up.
That's a flag.
Spiritual beliefs
Ooh, it's a flag.
is definitely giving red flag, because then you can become complacent, or there's gonna just be, can we be honest, resentment.
It will be.
It will be, yes.
But the crazy thing about it is you resent something that's not even that person's fault. It's your
Right.
fault.
Because you overlooked that what?
That red flag. You overlooked it. You thought it was a red rose, and it really was a red
Come
flag.
on.
And I'm very passionate about this because a red flag is not a red rose. Once you have identified that something is bothering you with that other person, it is a red flag, and you need to put a tally mark on it.
So let me say something. Let me counter you with that, because there are some women out here, or some people, not even some women, that are out here that see the red flags, but the red flag have glitter on it. Let's just be real.
They try to dress it up and make it pretty.
Yeah, because I've dressed flags up and made it look good. Matter of fact, I was knee deep into something with someone with a red flag, and I had to sit and fester in that. That was not easy for me, because in the beginning, you know, I'm thinking it's okay because the person had potential, not knowing that my preference was going to change later on down the line. That, you know, I'm growing and I'm on to something bigger and better, and this person is still in a stagnant state. And I'm not. So now the red flag, the glitter started to fall off. And I'm like, wait a minute now, what are charms and stuff? And
I think that one thing about a red flag is it's always there. It's whether we choose to see it or not, or how we choose to see it
and deal with it. How we choose to deal with that red flag.
You can be accepting of a red flag based upon what level you are in your life. Because you could be in a dark place. So if you're in a dark place, no, the flag ain't gonna look red. You know, it's not gonna look. Girl, it's giving pink.
Not fuchsia.
Come on, pink and fuchsia.
Not magenta.
Come on, pink flag. It ain't red, but it ain't white.
Girl, it's red. It's plain. It is no red.
And it is, but I'm saying sometimes when you in that place, that flag looks magenta.
It looks magenta. It looks good.
And I think red flags, like we said, relationships, friendships. But I think for me, in the space that I'm going to, which is going towards healing, it's just identifying them. Okay, I ain't trying to talk about me, but I want to be set free. I think another red flag for me is I just wish when I was younger that I would have taken control of my finances sooner. Because now I want to invest, and now I'm trying to build wealth and things like that. But that was a red flag, because sis was living her best life, shopping, maxing out credit cards, doing whatever I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? And I have to throw this flag up for my own self, but that, you know what I'm saying, not really taking control. So young sisters, little sisters, baby, learn how to deal with your money, even if you don't know. Financial literacy is everything.
It's everything. And even at the age that I am now, and even with my children, I'm just now learning financial literacy. I'm learning the importance of saving money, because Fashion Nova be
Fashion Nova called me every time. She got me on speed dial. She know my name.
She calls, she texts. I'm just like, girl,
leave me alone. You toxic, but I love you.
Oh, she is toxic. She get a red flag. No,
she get a white and red flag. Fashion Nova and Pretty Little Things and Shein. I like it all, baby.
Listen, let me tell you something. Shein. I say Shein.
I say Shein because she is in, honey.
Shein.
She in it.
She in it. She
like
in
or Shein.
Girl, that is, I think that was SHEEN or Shein.
It's gonna be Shein, SHEIN.
So that's a red flag for me, but a white flag for her.
But tomatoes,
right?
But Shein get my money too, right along with Fashion Nova.
She gonna get me every time.
So, but definitely financial stability, because I mean, there's been times in my life where the money was overflowing, and it was just I was like so excited
and throwing it away.
Cause you know what we like to do when you've been through difficult times and then the money really started flowing, we want to treat ourselves, but the true treat is saying, okay, what can I do with this to bring in more money? I'm getting there. She ain't always there, but at least I'm thinking about it. The thought process, my mindset is changing.
But then too, what I do want to say about, red flags, sometimes people aren't even in the space to even take ownership in reference to, those red flags. And I think that you got to get in a space of accountability. You got to get in a space of like, okay, what am I doing? What am I contributing? Also, another red flag for me too is communication. I think that in any relationship, whether it be a marriage, whether it be a dating relationship, a relationship with your family, even a relationship that you have at your job, I believe communication is key. And if there is space where someone is not receptive to what you're saying, that is a red flag.
Hold on,
It should, yes, it's a red flag. Anytime that you're trying to have a conversation and it's tit for tat, it's a red flag because there's something going on with the other person.
Right. Or they deflect.
Oh.
So see, that's my thing. I don't like deflection. Because I know you deflected from the conversation that we're trying to have. That's a red flag for me when you deflect me.
And since we talked about this, one thing about it, it gets to a point with toxic communication. I don't even want to be right no more. I need peace. So guess what?
I surrender.
You can have it.
I don't even want to be right no more.
I want to be gone.
Yeah, I want to be gone.
Because you toxic.
Yeah, I
put me in the starting blocks and blow the gun so I can get up out of here.
I'm ready to get on out of here.
It's giving, let's go.
Yeah, it's giving leave.
Right. And another thing too with red flags, I say red flags in friendships. I want to speak on that.
Let's talk about that.
Because it's a red flag where if your sis is not in a good place, it's kind of hard for her to celebrate you. And when you come and tell your sis, hey sis, I just built my first home. I just got my first investment property. And all she can say is, oh, that's good. And then continue on with her drama. That's a red flag for me. Because sis don't care right now about you because she's so wrapped up in her toxic mess that she don't even want to celebrate her sister. You white and...
You know why? Because the thing about it is, it's a red flag. Let's be clear that it's a red flag. But I'm going to give sis just enough grace to say you ain't even in a place where you can celebrate right now.
But it does something to the other person, it breaks your heart so bad. Because you ain't celebrating me.
Okay, so let me put that white flag down because you're right. Because no matter what space I'm in, I want to be able to celebrate.
And if you're not in that space, that's for real. And that's one reason why I like B so much. And period. If you're not in that space, be vocal enough to say you're not in that space.
That is me.
Be vocal enough to say I can't show up because of this. I can't show up for you because of this. Just have healthy communication with your sis. Healthy communication with your husband, your spouse, or whomever that you're with. Even your kids can say, I can't do it right now because my mental stability is not there.
Absolutely. Because the thing about communication, we're trying to come to a resolve, a happy medium, or just a place of peace. So if you ain't able to celebrate, if you're not able to engage, if you're not able to whatever, either remove yourself or you got to figure it out. You got to compromise or you got to get the tools you need.
But because that type of red flag and that like not being celebrated, I love to be celebrated.
Baby, I'm gonna celebrate you. I'm clapping.
Like I said in the other connection, confetti me,
please.
Confetti me.
I want a party in a box.
Yes, that's what I want. And I feel like if you're my friend and you're not in a good space and I'm in a good space, what I've learned those friends. My friends that are not in good spaces, I limit what I say to them. Call it watering myself down, call it whatever. I don't say anything about my.
And see, that's scary to me because to me those are not friends to me.
And I agree, but I don't.
I know.
So I agree because your friends should always
celebrate. Because anytime I have to put you in certain categories, what I feel what a friend is what I feel what a friend is. And if you're not giving that to me, it's a red flag for me.
And I think what you're saying,
sis,
is in this season, you need reciprocation. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that goes back to conversations we've had. We want that longevity when what we really desire is that loyalty. Celebrate me no matter what season you're in because you love me and because you care for me. And if you don't have the capacity, we already talked about it, just communicate that. And then I have to limit my access.
Surrender.
I have to limit my access.
And that's me. There's been, some of my friends that have had, events that I couldn't attend. I wasn't okay up top. So I was like, you know what? Listen, sis, I love you. I can't. And I've done that before and it wasn't reciprocated and I don't talk to those people anymore, but whatever to them because that was the space that I was in. I don't want, let me tell you something.
Speak, sis.
Sometimes when you're not in a good space, how I'm gonna sit under you and you celebrating something in my mind, I'm not even there. I can't even give you everything it is that you desire and that you need, that you work for. So that's why for me, I would shy away and I would I'm in the background cheering until I come to a better space.
That's good.
But like you said, communication, you gotta be able
if
to
you don't communicate that, your sis is gonna look at you like, well dang sis, I tell you that I'm doing stuff, but you don't really even care if I'm doing stuff because it ain't about you or about your toxic mess that you're in and you're in a bad drought right now in your life right now, and it's hard for you to celebrate your sis. But when you are back up, you're gonna want that same celebration that you didn't give.
Let's be clear. I've been the sis that didn't know how to vocalize or verbalize or whatever. So this coin is two-sided. But guess what? People outgrew me. People had to move on from me, and people had to say, "Yeah, I don't know, her energy ain't where I need it to be." Yeah. And guess what? It's okay.
If you have been outgrew and you outgrown, I'm good regardless of I'm peachy king with this. I don't have people outgrow. I don't think it was an outgrow. I think it was maybe like, let me just slide on. It might was the Lord just pushing them out my way. Right. Because it felt like a push to me. Yeah. And I'm okay. I'm Gucci with either one because I feel like ever since all that moving around, that furniture in my life the furniture looks good.
It's giving peace.
It's giving peace. I don't surrender.
It's giving. I like it here because whatever was going on, whatever the disconnect was. We haven't jumped that hurdle, so either we can revisit or we can keep it pushing.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too. But what I love about us talking about red flags is because we have so many different opinions and different, experiences concerning the red flags. And what I will say is, don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore the signs.
Or not at all.
I'm gonna definitely say, do not proceed at all.
And don't try to make other people not notice the red flag either, because they see it.
Okay, because that was me.
I can't stand that.
That was me. Because what I would do when I saw the red flags, I would say everything that I wanted that person to be, and I would just say I would dress it up to make that person look good because I didn't want them to look bad because they're next to me. So how am I going to say, this person's not doing
You try to paint a pretty picture that wasn't so pretty.
But sis, this is the thing. A red flag is somebody that is sketchy or somebody that is shady. And when you saw that was really just discernment. I mean, hold on. If they sketchy, if they shady, if they scamming, I'm not coming from the scammers, but I'm just saying. And if they have no problem doing that, if they have no problem doing that to other people, I just have to think.
Yeah.
If I do it to me.
It's the kind of scam that you got going on. Because if you scamming, listen now, I believe in Robin Hood, taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Okay. I'm a good scammer on that. Right. But if you scamming people out of their checks and out of stuff, or you coming into their energy to suck it away, or trying to take away, you gotta watch out for them kind of people.
If they have no type of remorse. Yeah. If I can take from you and it's shutting your family down just because I want something. Yeah.
Red flag.
It's gonna be red flag for me. Because, baby, they'll mess around and come for me, and she'll be on Orange Is the New Black. And jumpsuit. But look, if you look, don't come for me.
Don't come for me. But you know what, though? I have people that I know that are in situations where the red flags are huge, and I stay away. Yeah, I won't go over. I won't be around it because, like you, I'm ready to nuck and buck for the person. But if they're not, it's almost like when I hear them tell me, okay, what's going on? It's giving the blind is leading the blind. Yeah, and it's just like
it is, honey.
And it's giving you're not ready, so I have to let you sit in that space and love you. But also, it becomes a point where, sis, the red flags are red flagging, and you want to keep telling me about it, but you want to sit there, so I'm going to have to leave that alone.
Let you sit in it.
I love you, and we can still do
what I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't ride or die for nobody. I ride, but baby, I ain't dying.
I'm a ride for certain people, but like you said, I ain't dying because, sis, you like...
I'm cautious in the ride.
I really don't want to go to jail for you, and you've been sitting in this for 20 years, but there are a few people that I might have to ride or die for.
If you have to force it to work, it's a red flag. Yeah. If it has to be forced, it's a red flag. I mean, and then let's be clear.
See, one thing we can say. I think we can do this. One thing about a red flag, it's there.
It's there.
It's there. So we have. If you decide,
if you think it's there,
it's there. Whether it's subtle, whether it's big, whether it's bold, whether it's screaming, it's there. And you made a decision to ignore it, to deal with it, to sit in it, and
claim it that you did that. Because I've done it in relationships. I've seen a red flag. I stayed with a cheater. Yeah, I stayed with a liar.
Me too.
I stayed with somebody who just didn't have no. I don't know why I stayed. He was cute, and he he had a Comcast remote and he had all the channels.
Right, come on.
I definitely stayed because I didn't want to be by myself. I didn't want to come home no more and be by myself and hear that that echo. You know, I wanted to, have somebody to talk to. But then even in that space, I'm like, dang, bro,
and we
come on with you.
But you're alone though when you're not even alone.
We stay because of fear of looking like a failure.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because
we're not our grandparents anymore. Let's get into that.
Yeah,
we're not staying in toxic relationship just because it's for the greater good, because it looks good to the church or it looks good for the community. Because you scared somebody say, "Oh yeah, I knew they weren't gonna make it." Who cares?
Yeah, and I don't think God wants that for us.
They don't want. Come on,
and let's be clear, because first of all, God does honor marriage, but He don't want you miserable, beaten on, cheated, and trauma in the whole lifestyle. That's not what God called marriage for.
But you know what? I'm glad that y'all said that, because I feel like this. Leaving is not a sign of weakness.
No, it's not.
It's not a sign of weakness. And just like that, like you said, we are not.
Are we surrendering?
Yeah, we gonna surrender. We're not. I can't say we me. I'm not my grandparents.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit in a relationship or anything that doesn't develop or promote any type of growth for me.
Yeah.
Any type of stability for me. Like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Also, red flags too. If you're staying in a relationship that is traumatic to you, and sometimes trauma is a familiar feeling.
Ooh.
But what I will say is get counseling.
Yeah.
Go to therapy.
And get a plan. Get
an exit plan.
Because you deserve a life full of peace. You deserve a life full of love. You deserve to be your best self. And we are not coming for anybody that is sitting in it now. Because maybe we are sitting in a job, a friendship, a relationship. But the thing is, stop ignoring that red flag.
And we telling you this because we have sat in it before and we got up out of it. That's why we're telling you.
Sat in it for years.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a red flag.
It's definitely a red flag. So if you guys could leave anybody with anything as far as, self-love.
Of choosing yourself. I'm all about choosing yourself, and you have to choose yourself in this red flag situation. It's not easy to leave any situation, whether it's a friendship or a marriage or a relationship. It's not easy, but it's necessary. At the end of the day, your happiness is all that matters. It's enough hell going on in this life right now, so why give yourself more hell that you got? Don't think that you a soldier because you living and riding and dying for somebody. No, you dying.
Right, and sis, be inspired. Be inspired that you were able to choose yourself. Sis, it's going to be hard. It might not be easy. You got to stop worrying about the opinions of other people, and you got to live for you. You know what this shirt really means? Sis is minding her business, meaning it's time to take care of myself.
Right.
It's time for me to worry about me and be about my business. So sis, be inspired.
Not anything else.
That was
it. Well, what I will say is, y'all know me.
Come on, B.
I'm gonna take ownership in everything. I've sat in red flags. I've had to fester in it. I've had to come out and be open about things that I've done that I was not proud of, but I took ownership because I played a role in those red flags. Yes. And I had to be transparent in that. So sis, even if you sitting in it right now, you can come out of this. Yes, you don't have to stay stagnant in this. You can come out. I don't have a word for the week, but I do have a quote. Okay. And I think the quote is a saying. Operate solely in necessity. That's all I have.
That sounds like a word of the week for me.
Necessity. Something has to be pouring into you. And if you have a hole in the bottom of your cup, you need to get you a new cup. You gotta get a new cup. Because it don't matter who try to pour into you, you're not gonna take it in because you're not ready for it.
You're not gonna be receptive.
You gotta be transparent in that, and you gotta be inspired by others to want to be transparent to choose yourself.
Yeah, surround yourself by people who are, who might be a little bit further along than you in their journey. That's what I had to do. That's why we all close. So again, you guys, thank you for joining us. That's what's up.
Don't ignore the red flags, sis. Don't ignore them.
Do not enjoy the red flags. Thank you so much for joining us for our fourth connection. Join us on Wednesday for Wind Down Wednesday. Yes, make sure you holler at your girl Chardonnay.
Y'all give us some Chardonnay.
Get your sister, get your cousin, get your co-worker, get grandma.
The whole hood.
The whole hood. And wind down with your girl.
And that's what's up, sis.
That's what's up, sis.